What if I told you one of the most talked about countries in Africa right now isn't Nigeria, isn't South Africa, isn't Kenya? It's Burkina Faso, a landlocked West African nation that most people couldn't point to on a map, suddenly dominating headlines. Coups, gold, Russia, France leaving, youth militias. A 30-something military leader being compared to Thomas Sankara. So the question is, why Burkina Faso? What is actually happening there right now? Let's break it down fast African fact style. Before we talk politics, let's understand the country. Burkina Faso is in West Africa. It borders Mali, Niger, Ghana, Togo, Benin, and Côte d'Ivoire. Capital city, Ouagadougou. Population, about 23 million people. Official language, French. Major ethnic group, Mossi. Now here's something powerful. The name Burkina Faso means land of upright people.
Wow.
It was renamed in 1984 by revolutionary leader Thomas Sankara. Before that, it was called Upper Volta, a colonial name given by France. Already you can see this country has a history of resistance and identity. In 2022, Burkina Faso experienced not one, but two coups. The first coup removed President Roch-Marc Christian Kabore. Then months later, another coup removed the interim military leader. That's when the world began asking, who is this new young captain? Enter Ibrahim Traoré. At just 34 years old, he became one of the youngest heads of state in the world. But here's the key question. Why were these coups happening? Burkina Faso has been battling extremist insurgencies linked to groups operating in the Sahel region. Large parts of the country were becoming insecure. Thousands were displaced. Trust in civilian leadership dropped. The military stepped in, saying they could restore security and sovereignty. But coups are never simple. They divide opinion. Some see instability, others see revolution. One major change under Ibrahim Traoré has been mobilizing civilians. The government expanded a program called Volunteers for the Defense of the Homeland. Ordinary citizens are being trained to support national defense efforts. Supporters say, this is patriotic. People are protecting their land. Critics say, this is risky and militarizes society. But what's undeniable is this. There is a strong wave of nationalism inside Burkina Faso right now. You'll see rallies, flags everywhere. Young people chanting anti-colonial slogans. The narrative is clear. Burkina Faso must control its own destiny. Now let's talk money. Burkina Faso is one of Africa's top gold producers. Gold is the backbone of its economy. Under the current leadership, there have been efforts to increase local control over resources. The message? Burkina Faso should benefit more from its own gold? This echoes the ideology of Thomas Sankara, who pushed self-reliance, anti-corruption, and reduced dependence on foreign powers. That's why many young Africans online compare Ibrahim Traoré to Sankara. But history teaches us something important. Comparisons are powerful, but time tells the full story. Another major headline. France's military presence in Burkina Faso ended. For decades, France maintained influence in several West African countries. Now, Burkina Faso is reshaping its alliances. There have been closer engagements with Russia. And Burkina Faso has strengthened cooperation with Mali and Niger, both also led by military governments. Some analysts say this is a new Sahel bloc. Others say it's a dangerous geopolitical shift. But here's the real fast African fact. Africa is redefining its global partnerships in real time. Burkina Faso is at the center of that shift. So why should you care? Because what's happening in Burkina Faso reflects bigger African themes. Sovereignty versus foreign influence. Military rule versus democracy, resource control, youth, frustration, Pan-African identity, and remember, Burkina Faso is not alone. Across parts of the Sahel, there's a growing demand for change. Some call it instability, so others call it awakening. But here's what you should always ask. Is this sustainable? Will security improve long-term? Can economic reforms truly empower citizens? Those answers are still unfolding. Burkina Faso is not just a headline, it's a test case. A test of whether a country can rebuild under military leadership. A test of African self-determination. A test of youth-driven nationalism. Whether you support it or question it, one thing is certain. Burkina Faso is shaping conversations about Africa's future. And if you truly want to understand Africa, you have to pay attention to the Sahel. If you enjoy learning real African facts without the Western filter, If you want deeper breakdowns on African history, politics, and hidden stories, subscribe now, because Africa is not what you think. And we're just getting started. Drop a comment. Do you think Burkina Faso is on the right path? And tell me, what African country should we break down next? Fast African Facts. See you in the next one.